ಧ್ಯಾನ ಗಂಗಾ 2 ದಿನಗಳ ವಿಶೇಷ ವಿಚಾರ ಸಂಕಿರಣಕ್ಕೆ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಈ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನಾ ಅಧಿವೇಶನವನ್ನು ವೇದಘೋಷದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಬೆಳಗುವುದರ ಮೂಲಕ ಪರಮಪೂಜ್ಯ ಯತಿವರೇಣ್ಯರು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಉದ್ಘಾಟಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಓಂ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ಹರಿ ಓಂ. ಗಣಾನಾಂ ತ್ವಾ ಗಣಪತಿಗುಂ ಹವಾಮಹೇ ಕವಿಂ ಕವೀನಾಮುಪಮಶ್ರವಸ್ತಮಂ. ಜ್ಯೇಷ್ಠರಾಜಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣಸ್ಪತ ಆನಃ ಶೃಣ್ವನ್ನೋತಿಭಿಃ ಸೀದಸಾದನಂ. ಮಹಾಗಣಪತಯೇ ನಮಃ. ಪ್ರಣೋ ದೇವಿ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ವಾಜೇಭಿರ್ವಾಜಿನೇವತಿ. ಧೀನಾಮವಿತ್ರ್ಯವತು ಆನೋ ದಿವೋ ಬೃಹತಃ ಪರ್ವತಾದಾ ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಯಜತಾ ಗಂತು ಯಜ್ಞಂ. ವಾಗ್ದೇವ್ಯೈ ನಮಃ. ಓಂ ಸಹನಾವವತು ಸಹನೌ ಭುನಕ್ತು ಸಹ ವೀರ್ಯಂಕರವಾವಹೈ. ತೇಜಸ್ವಿನಾವಧೀತಮಸ್ತು ಮಾ ವಿದ್ವಿಷಾವಹೈ. ಓಂ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಶಾಂತಿ. ಓಂ ಸಹಸ್ರಶೀರ್ಷಂ ದೇವಂ ವಿಶ್ವಾಕ್ಷಂ ವಿಶ್ವಶಂಭುವಂ. ವಿಶ್ವನ್ನಾರಾಯಣಂ ದೇವಮಕ್ಷರಂ ಪರಮಂ ಪದಂ. ವಿಶ್ವತಃ ಪರಮಾನ್ನಿತ್ಯಂ ವಿಶ್ವನ್ನಾರಾಯಣಗುಂ ಹರಿಂ. ವಿಶ್ವಮೇವೇದಂ ಪುರುಷಸ್ತದ್ವಿಶ್ವಮುಪಜೀವತಿ. ಪತಿಂ ವಿಶ್ವಸ್ಯಾತ್ಮೇಶ್ವರಗುಂ ಶಾಶ್ವತಗುಂ ಶಿವಮಚ್ಯುತಂ. ನಾರಾಯಣಂ ಮಹಾಜ್ಞೇಯಂ ವಿಶ್ವಾತ್ಮಾನಂ ಪರಾಯಣಂ. ನಾರಾಯಣ ಪರೋ ಜ್ಯೋತಿರಾತ್ಮಾ ನಾರಾಯಣಃ ಪರಃ. ನಾರಾಯಣ ಪರಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ತತ್ವನ್ನಾರಾಯಣಃ ಪರಃ. ನಾರಾಯಣ ಪರೋ ಧ್ಯಾತಾ ಧ್ಯಾನನ್ನಾರಾಯಣಃ ಪರಃ. ಯಚ್ಚ ಕಿಂಚಿಜ್ಜಗತ್ ಸರ್ವಂ ದೃಶ್ಯತೆ ಶ್ರೂಯತೆಪಿ ವಾ. ಅಂತರ್ಬಹಿಶ್ಚ ತತ್ಸರ್ವಂ ವ್ಯಾಪ್ಯ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಸ್ಥಿತಃ. ಅನಂತಮವ್ಯಯಂ ಕವಿಗುಂ ಸಮುದ್ರೇಂತಂ ವಿಶ್ವಶಂಭುವಂ. ಪದ್ಮಕೋಶ ಪ್ರತೀಕಾಶಗುಂ ಹೃದಯಂ ಚಾಪ್ಯಧೋಮುಖಂ. ಅಧೋನಿಷ್ಟ್ಯಾವಿತಸ್ತ್ಯಾಂತೇನಾಭ್ಯಾಮುಪರಿ ತಿಷ್ಠತಿ. ಜ್ವಾಲಮಾಲಾಕುಲಂ ಭಾತಿ ವಿಶ್ವಸ್ಯಾಯತನಂ ಮಹತ್. ಸಂತತಗುಂ ಶಿಲಾಭಿಸ್ತುಲಂ ಬತ್ಯಾಕೋಶಸನ್ನಿಭಂ. ತಸ್ಯಾಂತೆ ಸುಶಿರಗುಂ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮಂ ತಸ್ಮಿನ್ ಸರ್ವಂ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಿತಂ. ತಸ್ಯ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಮಹಾನಗ್ನಿರ್ವಿಶ್ವಾರ್ಚಿರ್ವಿಶ್ವತೋಮುಖಃ. ಸೋಗ್ರಭುಗ್ವಿಭಜನ್ ತಿಷ್ಟನ್ನಾಹಾರಮಜರಃ ಕವಿಃ. ತಿರ್ಯಗೋರ್ಧ್ವಮದಶಾಯೀ ರಶ್ಮಯಸ್ತಸ್ಯ ಸಂತತಾ. ಸಂತಾಪಯತಿ ಸ್ವಂ ದೇಹಮಾಪಾದತಲಮಸ್ತಕಃ. ತಸ್ಯ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ವಹ್ನಿಶಿಖಾ ಅಣಿಯೋರ್ಧ್ವಾವ್ಯವಸ್ಥಿತಃ. ನೀಲತೋ ಯದಮಧ್ಯಸ್ಥಾದ್ವಿದ್ಯುಲ್ಲೇಖೇವ ಭಾಸ್ವರಾ. ನೀವಾರ್ರಶೂಕವತ್ತನ್ವೀ ಪೀತಾಭಾ ಸ್ವತ್ಯಣೋಪಮಾ. तस्या शिखाया मध्ये परमात्मा व्यवस्थितः स ब्रह्म स शिवः स हरिस्सेन्द्रस्सोऽक्षरः परमस्वराट् ऋतगुं सत्यं परं ब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः। ॐ नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णुः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ तत्सत्। ಶ್ರೀರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣಾರ್ಪಣಮಸ್ತು. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಧ್ಯಾನ ಗಂಗಾ ಈ 2 ದಿವಸದ ವಿಶೇಷ ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಕುರಿತಾದ ವಿಚಾರ ಸಂಕಿರಣಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಈ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನಾ ಅಧಿವೇಶನದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತಿರುವ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಸಂತರ ಪರಿಚಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡಲು ನಾನು ಇಚ್ಛಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಪರಮಪೂಜ್ಯ ಶ್ರೀಮತ್ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ರಾಘವೇಶಾನಂದಜಿ ಮಹಾರಾಜ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಠದ ಭಕ್ತರಿಗೆ ಸುಪರಿಚಿತರು. ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಹಾಸಂಘದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 4 ದಶಕಗಳಷ್ಟು ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿರುವ ಹಿರಿಯ ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿಗಳು, ಉತ್ತಮ ವಾಗ್ಮಿಗಳು, ಬರಹಗಾರರು. ಸನಾತನ ಹಿಂದೂ ಧರ್ಮದ ಮೌಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿತ್ತುವ ಉದ್ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಅನೇಕ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗಾಗಿಯೇ ರಚಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ರಾಮಾಯಣ ಫಾರ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್, ಮಹಾಭಾರತ ಫಾರ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್, ಪಿಕ್ಟೋರಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೋರೀಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಮುಂತಾದವುಗಳು. ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳು ಅನೇಕ ಭಾಷೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಭಾಷಾಂತರ ಕೂಡ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರ ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ಕೆಲವು ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧ ಕೃತಿಗಳು ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತುಗಳ ಕುರಿತಾದ ಕೃತಿಗಳು. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಜನರಿಗೂ ಮನಮುಟ್ಟುವಂತೆ ಅರ್ಥವಾಗುವ ಶೈಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ರಚಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ಚೆನ್ನೈ, ಕಂಚಿಪುರಂ, ಸೇಲಂ, ಅಲಸೂರು, ಬೆಳಗಾಂ ಕೇಂದ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಠದ ಕೇಂದ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಠ ಊಟಿ ಆಶ್ರಮದ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾಗಿ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ಯುವ ಜನತೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ವಿಶೇಷ ಕಾಳಜಿಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದವರು. ಅನೇಕ ಶಾಲಾ ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳಿಗೆ ಭೇಟಿ ನೀಡಿ ಧರ್ಮ, ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಲವು ಮೂಡಿಸುವ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷಗಳು ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಇದಲ್ಲದೆ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರ ಆಳವಾದ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಜ್ಞಾನ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯದ ಕುರಿತಾದ ಅನೇಕ ಪ್ರವಚನಗಳು ಜನಜನಿತವಾಗಿದೆ. ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ಕನ್ನಡ, ಹಿಂದಿ, ಬಂಗಾಳಿ, ತಮಿಳ್, ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಭಾಷೆಗಳನ್ನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬಲ್ಲವರು ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರಿಗೆ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ ಮಾಡುವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಾರಸ್ಯಕರ ಅನುಭವ. ತಮ್ಮ ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕ ಆರೋಗ್ಯವನ್ನು ಲೆಕ್ಕಿಸದೆ ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದ ಭಾವಪ್ರಸರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ತಮ್ಮನ್ನು ತಾವೇ ಸಕ್ರಿಯವಾಗಿ ತೊಡಗಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ಈ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಗಂಗಾ ಅಧಿವೇಶನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ತುಂಬ ಸಂತೋಷದ ವಿಷಯ. ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರಿಗೆ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಠದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆರೆದಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಭಕ್ತಿಪೂರ್ವಕ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಈ ಪುಷ್ಪಗುಚ್ಛವೊಂದಿಗೆ ನಾನು ನೀಡಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. I consider it as a great privilege to welcome and introduce our keynote speaker for the inaugural session on meditation, Dhyana Ganga, revered Swami Atma Priyanandaji Maharaj. Revered Maharaj is presently the Pro-Chancellor and Secretary of the Ramakrishna Vivekananda Educational and Research Institute, established in July 2005 by the Ramakrishna Mission as its sponsoring society to actualize Swami Vivekananda's prophetic vision of effectively blending the best elements of East and the West. It was declared as a deemed to be university by the Government of India under University Grants Commission Act 1956. Revered Maharaj was the first Vice Chancellor of this university and served it since inception for nearly 15 years as Vice Chancellor. Revered Maharaj has received his MSc in Physics with specialization in nuclear physics from Presidency College, Chennai, PhD in Theoretical Physics from University of Madras, India, for his work in high energy physics, and has a number of research publications in reputed international journals in this area. Inspired of Ramakrishna Vivekananda ideology, Revered Maharaj joined the Ramakrishna Order of Monks in 1978. He was posted in Ramakrishna Mission Vidyamandira, a premier college of Ramakrishna Mission at Bengaluru Math, Howrah, where he taught physics for nearly 25 years, besides being involved in academic administration as vice principal and principal of the college for 19 years. In February 2021, Revered Maharaj was awarded Doctor of Science honorary by the Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, for his outstanding achievements in the field of education and service to society. In May 2022, he was awarded Doctor of Literature honorary by the Central University of Assam for outstanding contribution in the field of education and service to humanity. In May 2023, Asiatic Society Kolkata, a 240-year-old organization declared by the Government of India as an institution of national importance, awarded him the honor of Fellow of Asiatic Society. Revered Maharaj served on many national committees relating particularly to education. To name a few, National Committee constituted by the Government of India with the Prime Minister of India as the chairman to commemorate Swamiji's 150th birth anniversary. Committee constituted by UGC to frame guidelines for fostering social responsibility in higher education institutions in India. Revered Maharaj is also involved as a council member or many times has actively participated in a large number of global organizations. Revered Maharaj has traveled extensively. We are very happy to have such an erudite scholar amongst us for this meditation workshop. I am delighted to have him with us for the symposium. On behalf of the Ramakrishna Math Baswangudi and all the participants and devotees, extend a very warm and cordial and respectful welcome to Revered Swami Atma Priyanandaji Maharaj, and request Swami Nityastanandaji Maharaj to provide him the bouquet. Thank you, Maharaj. Dhyana Ganga ವಿಚಾರ ಸಂಕಿರಣದ ಉದ್ದೇಶ, ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಪರಿಚಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಪರಮ ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಶ್ರೀಮದ್ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ನಿತ್ಯಸ್ಥಾನಂದಜಿ ಮಹಾರಾಜರವರಲ್ಲಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ.
ಓಂ ಸ್ಥಾಪಕಾಯ ಚ ಧರ್ಮಸ್ಯ ಸರ್ವಧರ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪಿಣೆ ಅವತಾರವರಿಷ್ಠಾಯ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯ ತೇ ನಮಃ. revered Srimad Swami Raghaveshananji Maharaj, revered Swami Atma Priyananji Maharaj, revered Swami Atma Vidananji Maharaj and other brother monks, and my dear devotees. These days, the meditation becoming a very popular subject. It is being spoken of in the different fields of human endeavor, not only as a spiritual practice, but also in the field of psychology and also neuroscience also. The meditation is becoming a very important subject, topic of discussion. Meditation, it has got a spiritual, apart from it being a spiritual dimension, spiritual practice, it has got its own psychological and also neurological dimension. Swami Vivekananda, speaking about meditation, he says, I quote, "The meditative state of mind is declared by the yogis to be the highest state in which the mind can exist." So that means Swami Vivekananda is indicating meditation is not a process, it's a state in which one has to remain. So meditation is not doing, it is being. Somebody very beautifully defines meditation. Meditation is not to do anything. That is meditation. Doing nothing. Being only, just being. You have to remain in that state. You have to reach that state, that's all. So there are different techniques are there to reach the state. See, further, Swami Vivekananda says, the greatest help to spiritual life is meditation. In meditation, we divest ourselves of all the material conditions and feel our divine nature. So that means when the mind is completely clear from all the chittavrittis, mental waves, mental modifications, and also it becomes crystal clear without any impurities, then only we will be able to have the glimpse of our own divine nature. That's what Swami Vivekananda is telling. He explains this with a very beautiful, appropriate example. He compares mind to the lake. If the lake is covered with ripples, and also if the lake is impure, water is impure, you will not be able to perceive the bottom of the lake. When the water is clear from all the impurities, it becomes very crystal clear and no ripples on the surface. Then you will be able to perceive very clearly the bottom of the lake. Similarly, with the mind is very clear, free from all the samskaras, all the impurities, and chittavrittis, mental waves also is subsided, then we will be able to perceive, have the glimpse of our own divine nature at bottom of our personality. That's what Swami Vivekananda says. That means two aspects are there here. One is chittavritti nirodha, vritti nirodha, and samskara nirodha. These two simultaneously must take place. So this is what Swami Vivekananda defines as meditation, this kind of process and state of mind. There are different varieties of meditations are there. Objective meditation is there, subjective meditation is there, transcendental meditation is there, dynamic meditation is there, effortless meditation is there, walking meditation also is there. Swami, I will tell. I am going to. So, Swami Yatishwarananji, as you know, he is a very great spiritual luminaries of our order. He says, for many, meditation is an invitation for sleeping. So, sleeping meditation also is there, sometimes snoring also. That also can be considered. But what Swami Adbhutananji speaks about meditation. It is very illuminating. I am going to read a passage on that. What Swami Advaitana. Advaitana, as we all know, is a great spiritual personality, direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. And he was coming from a very poor background, financially, culturally, and absolutely illiterate boy. He is a servant boy. That such a boy is converted to be one of the greatest saints of India. It's all the miracle of Sri Ramakrishna. That is why he was called, earlier he was the Latu Maharaj. And Swami Vivekananda named him as a Adbhutananda, because it is the greatest miracle, he is the greatest miracle of Sri Ramakrishna. Adbhutananda. So that is how Adbhutanji came to know. I read out the passage. Here in this passage, Adbhutananji speaks about the meditation, process of meditation, nature of meditation, and also the result of meditation. Very succinctly, he speaks about it. There are you and your chosen deity, and none else. That is meditation. Only two things are there. I am meditating on the object of meditation. Only two things are there. And nothing, no other thought but interfere. Nothing else is there. That is meditation. When the probationer's meditation comes to this stage, then he may be said to have control over his mind. Then the fickleness of the mind loses power over him. Before the mind tries to think of anything other than the object of meditation, the probationer comes to know of it and prevents from doing that. All the workings of the mind are revealed before they assume any power to distract him from the concentration of the chosen deity. Attachment or attraction to enjoyment, aversion to desirable spiritual things, annoyance towards practices that may lead to the spiritual enlightenment, etc., melt away before taking any form. All the evil tendencies, such as doing harm to anyone or telling lies, disappear before producing any physical change in the body. His nature is transformed. His body is transfigured. His eyes, face, movements, his words all indicate his meditative nature. During meditation, his respiration stops. A deep calmness pervades his whole personality. He loses the consciousness of the body. So this is about the meditation. Swami Adbhutananji speaks about very enlightening, very illuminating description of meditation. And 2 days seminar, there are great eminent scholars and also our Swamis of our great order who are going to deliberate on the different aspects of meditation, different meditative traditions in the different traditions of our religion. And also there are resource persons who speak about the psychological and also the neurological dimensions of the meditation. So I extend warm welcome to you all and hope you will be immensely benefited by this 2 days seminar. Thank you all. Namaste.
ಧ್ಯಾನ ಗಂಗಾ ವಿಚಾರ ಸಂಕಿರಣದ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಪರಿಚಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟ ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರಿಗೆ ವಂದನೆಗಳು. ಉದ್ಘಾಟನಾ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸವನ್ನು ನೀಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಪರಮ ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಶ್ರೀಮತ್ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ರಾಘವೇಶಾನಂದಜಿ ಮಹಾರಾಜರವರಲ್ಲಿ ವಿನಂತಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ.
ಓಂ ಸ್ಥಾಪಕಾಯ ಚ ಧರ್ಮಸ್ಯ ಸರ್ವಧರ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪಿಣೇ ಅವತಾರವರಿಷ್ಠಾಯ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯ ತೇ ನಮಃ. ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಆತ್ಮಪ್ರಿಯಾನಂದಜಿ, ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ನಿತ್ಯಸ್ಥಾನಂದಜಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆರೆದಿರುವ ಇತರ ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿಗಳೇ ಹಾಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ನೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಭಕ್ತರೇ, ಈ ಒಂದು ವಿನೂತನವಾದ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಇದು. ಬಹುಶಃ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಬಾರಿಗೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ ಇದು ಆಶ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ. ನೀವುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೆರೆದಿರುವುದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದರೆ ಧ್ಯಾನದ ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸಾಧಾರಣವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಈ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಗಮನಿಸಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಎರಡು ವಿಷಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ. ಮೊದಲನೆಯದು ಯೋಗ, ಎರಡನೆಯದು ಧ್ಯಾನ. ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಆಕರ್ಷಣೆ, ಆದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ದಿನ ಕೈ ಹಿಡಿದು ಅದನ್ನು ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಯೋಗ ಕೇಂದ್ರಗಳಿವೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಈ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಂದಿರಗಳು ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಶುರುವಾಗಿದೆ. ಕೆಲವು ದಿನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವುದಾದರೂ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಭೇಟಿಯಾದಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ನಾನು ಭಾಳ ವರ್ಷದ ಹಿಂದೆ ತುಂಬ ದಿನ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಅಂತ. ಈಗ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ? ಕಾರಣ, ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ಕಾರಣ ಅದನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳದೇ ಇರೋದು. ಪತಂಜಲಿ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳನ್ನು ಯೋಗ ಸೂತ್ರವನ್ನು ನೀವು ಓದಿದರೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಯೋಗ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಸೇರಿರುವಂಥದ್ದೇ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಸತು ದೀರ್ಘಕಾಲ ನೈರಂತರ್ಯ ಆಸೇವಿತ ದೃಢಭೂಮಿ ಅಂತ. ಈ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ದೀರ್ಘಕಾಲ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ನಮ್ಮ ಉಸಿರು ಇರುವವರೆಗೂ. ನೈರಂತರ್ಯ, ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. 1 ವರ್ಷ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದಾಗ ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಆ ಥರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೈರಂತರ್ಯ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಭಾಷ್ಯಕಾರರು ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಭಾಷ್ಯ ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀನು 6 ತಿಂಗಳು ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ದಿವಸ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾರನೇ ದಿನ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ನಿನ್ನ ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಮೊದಲನೆಯ ದಿನ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, ಆಸೇವಿತ, ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ, ಆಸಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ, ಪೂರ್ಣ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಿಂದ. ಏನೋ ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರುಗಳು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಥರ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಯಾಂತ್ರಿಕವಾಗಿ 15 ನಿಮಿಷ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಭಾಳ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದು ಏನೂ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹೀಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೈರಂತರ್ಯ ಆಸೇವಿತ, ಆಗ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ದೃಢಭೂಮಿ, ಆಗ ನೀವು ಧ್ಯಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಪತಂಜಲಿ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯ, ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ಏನು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಏನು ಫಲ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಗುರುಗಳು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಏನು ಫಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದಾದರೆ ಸಾಧಾರಣವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಕ್ಕೆ ಕೈ ಹಾಕೋಲ್ಲ. ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾತಿದೆ, ಪ್ರಯೋಜನಂ ಅನುದ್ದಿಶ್ಯ ಮೂರ್ಖೋಪಿ ನ ಪ್ರವರ್ತತೆ. ಏನೂ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ದಡ್ಡನಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಿನಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡು ಅಂದರೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಅವ್ನು ಕೇಳಿ ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಏನು ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವ್ನು ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಡ್ಡನೇ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಇರೋರು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಮೊದಲನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಈ ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಗುರಿ ಏನು ಇದನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಇದರ ನಿಜವಾದ ಗುರಿ ಭಗವಂತನ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ, ಅಥವಾ ನೀವು ವೇದಾಂತಿಗಳಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಆತ್ಮದ ಅನುಭೂತಿ, ನಾನು ಯಾರು ಅದನ್ನು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥದ್ದು. ರಮಣ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳ ಉಪದೇಶಗಳನ್ನು ಓದಿರೋರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಅವ್ರು ಏನಿದ್ರೂ ಆ ಮೂಲ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗೆ ಬರೋರು, ನಾನು ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಮೊದಲು ತಿಳಿದುಕೋ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥವಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಆದುದರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪವನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಭಗವಂತನ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದೇ ಗುರಿ. ಅದು ಆಗದೇ ಇರುವವರೆಗೂ ನಾನು ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ತೊಡಗಿರ್ತೇನೆ ಅನ್ನುವ ಒಂದು ದೃಢವಾದ ಸಂಕಲ್ಪವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆಗಲೇ ನೀವು ನಿಜವಾಗಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಧ್ಯಾನ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಡಗ್ತೀರಿ. ಅದು ಈಗ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುವ ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಕೇಂದ್ರ, ಈಗ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಯುಗ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಯುಗ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಯುಗ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಈ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ ವಿಸ್ತಾರವಾಗ್ತಾ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಈ ಒಂದು ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಕೇಂದ್ರಕ್ಕೂ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಕ್ಕೂ ಹರಡಿದೆ. ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಈ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಭಗವಂತನ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರವೋ ಆತ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನವೋ ಅವ್ರ ವಿಷಯ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಲ್ಯಾಬೊರೇಟ್ರಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಬಹಳ ವಿಶಾಲವಾಗಿ ಹರಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ನಡೀತಾನೇ ಇದೆ. ಸುಮಾರು ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಈ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಈ ಒಂದು ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಇದರ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನು ಬಹಳವಾಗಿ ಗಂಭೀರವಾಗಿ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಈ ಲ್ಯಾಬೊರೇಟ್ರಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಕೂರಿಸಿ ಅವರ ತಲೆಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಮೆಷಿನ್ಗಳಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಸಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಆಂತರ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ಮೆದುಳಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಗಮನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಒಮ್ಮೆ ದೆಹಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ನಡೆದಿತ್ತು. ಆ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ನ ವಿಷಯ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರಿಲಿಜನ್ ಅಂತ. ಅವರು ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ ಒಂದು ವೇದಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೊಯಂಬತ್ತೂರಿನ ಸದ್ಗುರು, ಇದು ಗುರು ಆಫ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್, ಅವರಿದ್ದರು. ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಇಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಇರುವ ಆತ್ಮಪ್ರಿಯಾನಂದರಿದ್ದರು. ಭಾಳ 2-3 ಗಂಟೆ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಡೀತು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆ್ಯಂಕರ್ ಮಾಡುವವರು ಆತ್ಮಪ್ರಿಯಾನಂದನ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಏನಂದರೆ, ಇಂಟ್ರಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ, ಯು ಆರ್ ಎ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್, ವೈ ಡಿಡ್ ಯು ಕಮ್ ಟು ರಿಲಿಜನ್ ಅಂದರು. ನೀನೊಬ್ಬ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿ, ನೀನು ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಧರ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀ ಅಂತ. ಆತ್ಮಪ್ರಿಯ ಅಂದರೆ ಭಾಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ರಿಲಿಜನ್ ಅಂದರು. ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕಾದರೆ ಈ ಆಧುನಿಕ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿದಿರುವವನು ಆಳವಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನುವ ಒಂದು ಉದ್ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಅವರು ಅದನ್ನು ಹಾಗೆ ಉತ್ತರಿಸಿದರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅವರಿಬ್ಬರ ಭಾಷಣಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರಖ್ಯಾತವಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಅದು ಹೇಳಲೇಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಅವರುಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ? ಈ ಧ್ಯಾನದಿಂದ ವೈದ್ಯರುಗಳು ಮಾಡೋದು ಏನಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ ರೋಗಗಳನ್ನು ಧ್ಯಾನದಿಂದ ಗುಣ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಅದರಿಂದ ಫಲಗಳನ್ನು ಪಡೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನವನ್ನು ಪಡೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಮೆರಿಕಾದ ಒಂದು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಒಂದು ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು ಒಂದು ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಸೈಕಾನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅವರು ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಏನನ್ನು ಕಂಡು ಹಿಡಿದಿದ್ರು ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಸ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಮೆದುಳಿನಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದುತ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಯಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇಟ್ಟು ಒಬ್ಬರನ್ನು ಕೂರಿಸಿ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಂಡು ಹಿಡಿದು ಅದರ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನಗಳೇನು, ಧ್ಯಾನ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂತ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದರು ಅವರು. ಆದರೆ ಧ್ಯಾನದ ನಿಜವಾದ ಗುರಿ ಅದಲ್ಲ. ಹಿಂದೂ ಧರ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಂಡು ಹಿಡಿದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಕಂಡಿರೋ ಒಂದು ಅವರ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು 4 ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳನ್ನು ಗಮನಿಸಿದರು. ಮೊದಲನೆಯದಾಗಿ 15 to 20% ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಪವರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್. ಅವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರೋ ಧಾರ್ಮಿಕ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದವರು, ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಕೂರಿಸಿದ್ದು ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದರು. ಆದರೆ ಅವರ ಮಿದುಳಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಗಮನಿಸಿದ್ದ ಅಂಶಗಳು 15 to 20% ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಎ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ ಫಾರ್ 10 minutes. ಅವರು 1 ತಿಂಗಳುಗಳ ಕಾಲ 10 ನಿಮಿಷ ಅವನನ್ನು ಕೂರಿಸಿ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ ಅದನ್ನು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದರು. ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ ಬಫರ್ ಕೆಪ್ಯಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ ದುಃಖವನ್ನು ಸಹಿಸುವ ಶಕ್ತಿ. ಯಾರು ಪ್ರತಿದಿನ 10 ನಿಮಿಷ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆಯೋ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದ ಒಂದು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದುಃಖ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅವ್ರು ಕುಗ್ಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಸಾಧಾರಣವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಸುಖ ಬಂದಾಗ ಹಿಗ್ಗಬೇಡ, ದುಃಖ ಬಂದಾಗ ಕುಗ್ಗಬೇಡ ಅಂತ. ಅದು ಬಂದಾಗಲೇ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋದು. ಮಾತಾಡುವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ. ದುಃಖ ಬಂದಾಗ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಹೇಗೆ ಕುಗ್ಗುತ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಪ್ರತಿನಿತ್ಯ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅವರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ, ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳ ಪ್ರಕಾರ, ಸೈಕಾನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ದುಃಖವನ್ನು ಸಹಿಸುವ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾಲ್ಕನೇದಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ ರೋಗವನ್ನು ತಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಬಲ್ಲ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಧ್ಯಾನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವುದರಿಂದ ಆಗುವ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನಗಳು. ಇನ್ನೂ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೀವಿ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ. ಗುರಿ ಇವತ್ತೇ ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಭಾಳ ದಿನ ಇದೆ, ನಿಧಾನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಆದರೆ ಈ ಫಲಗಳು ಸಿಗೋದಾದರೆ ನಾವು ಯಾಕೆ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದೇ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಮೇಲೆ ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಶ್ರಾಂತಿ ದೊರೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಅನುಭವ. ದಿನ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನೂ ಮಾಡದೆ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ನಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೂ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಾದ ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಶ್ರಾಂತಿ ದೊರೆಯೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಗಮನಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ರಿಲ್ಯಾಕ್ಸೇಷನ್ ದೊರೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ರಕ್ತದೊತ್ತಡ ಹಾಗೂ ಮಾನಸಿಕ ಅಸ್ವಸ್ಥತೆ ಇವುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ತಾತ್ಕಾಲಿಕವಾದ ಈ ಒಂದು ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಒಂದು ಫಲ. ನಿಜವಾಗಿ ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಗುರಿ ಇದು ಯಾವುದೂ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಹಿಂದೂ ಧರ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಹಿಂದೂ ಧರ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥವಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಋಷಿ ಮುನಿಗಳು ಈಗ ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇಡೀ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯನ್ನು ಅವರು ಅರಿಯಬಲ್ಲವರಾಗಿದ್ದರು, ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯನ್ನು ನಿಗ್ರಹಿಸಬಲ್ಲವರಾಗಿದ್ದರು. ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನಿದೆಯೋ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು, ಆದರೆ ಇದ್ಯಾವುದು ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಗುರಿಯಲ್ಲ. ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಗುರಿ ಒಂದೇ, ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಒಂದು ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಸಾರ್ಥಕಗೊಳಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಒಂದು ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಮೂಲಕ ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರಿಯನ್ನು ತಲುಪುವುದು. ಗುರಿ ಏನು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮಗೆಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಈಗ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನದ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೈಕಾಲಜಿ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತನಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇವತ್ತಿಂದು ಹಾಗೂ ನಾಳೆ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಭಾಷಣಕಾರರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಆಸಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಆಲಿಸಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥವಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಧ್ಯಾನದಿಂದ ಇದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು. ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕವಾಗಿ ನೋಡುವಾಗ ಹಿಂದೂ ಧರ್ಮ ಚೆಲ್ಲಿರುವಷ್ಟು ಬೆಳಕನ್ನು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ಧರ್ಮವೂ ಈ ಒಂದು ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಹತ್ತಿರ ಅಂದರೆ ಬೌದ್ಧ ಧರ್ಮ. ಬುದ್ಧ ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಕಂಡು ಹಿಡಿದು ಅವನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನು, ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ದುಃಖವಿದೆ, ದುಃಖಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣವಿದೆ, ಆ ದುಃಖವನ್ನು ನಿವಾರಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾರ್ಗ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ರಮಣ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳ ಬಳಿಗೆ ಬಂದವಾಗ ನೀನು ನಿನ್ನನ್ನು ಅರಿ, ನಿನ್ನನ್ನು ನೀನು ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಷ್ಟಗಳಿಂದಲೂ ಪಾರಾಗುತ್ತಿ. ಒಬ್ಬ ಭಕ್ತ ಬಂದಂತೆ ರಮಣ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳ ಹತ್ರ, ಗುರುಗಳೇ ನಾನು ಭಗವಂತನ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದನು. ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಂತೆ. ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದರು, ನನಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಾರ್ಗ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗೋಲ್ಲ, ನೀನು ಏನಿದ್ರು ನಾನು ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಕಂಡು ಹಿಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ, ಅದು ನನ್ನ ಕೈಲಿ ಆಗೋಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ. ಬೇಡ ಅಂದ್ರಂತೆ. ಮತ್ತೇನು ನಿನಗೆ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ, ನಾನು ನಾರಾಯಣನನ್ನು ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ತುಂಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು, ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಮಂತ್ರವನ್ನು ಜಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರು. ಗುರುಗಳೇ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಮಂತ್ರವನ್ನು ಜಪಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ವೈಕುಂಠಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಾ ಅಂದ್ಗೆ. ಹೌದು, ಖಂಡಿತ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ನಾರಾಯಣ ಜಪವನ್ನು ಸತತವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀನು ವೈಕುಂಠ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ನಾರಾಯಣನ ದರ್ಶನವಾಗುತ್ತೀಯಾ? ಹಾಂ ಖಂಡಿತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರು. ನಾರಾಯಣ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾನೆಯಾ? ಹೌದು ಖಂಡಿತ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಿನಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನಿನ್ನನ್ನು ನೀನು ಅರಿ. ಅವ್ರು ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಉಪದೇಶ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೇವೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರನ್ನು ಯಾವ ಮಾರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದರೂ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಕರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ನಿಜವಾದ ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಗುರಿ ನಾನು ಯಾರು, ಆ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ ಸ್ವರೂಪವಾದ ಆತ್ಮನೇ ನಾನು ಅನ್ನುವ ಒಂದು ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರವನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯುವಂಥದ್ದೇ ಈ ಒಂದು ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಗುರಿ. ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಹಿಂದೂ ಧರ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿರುವಷ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ಧರ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಈ ಒಂದು ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಗುರಿಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮನಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದನ್ನು ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣರು, ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದರು, ಶ್ರೀಮಾತೆಯವರು ಬಹಳ ಸುಲಭವಾದ ಸರಳವಾದ ಮಾತುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಹಳ ಸರಳವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲೇ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗೋಲ್ಲ. ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟೆಡಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು, ನಮಗೇನೂ ಅರ್ಥವೇ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು, ಆಗ ಭಾಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣರು ತೋರಿಸಿರುವ ಮಾರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಅದರ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ಕಾರವನ್ನು ಪಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಧನ್ಯವನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಮೈ ನೌ ಕೈಂಡ್ಲಿ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ರೆವಿಯರ್ಡ್ Swami Atma Priyanandaji Maharaj to deliver his keynote address.
Om yo brahmanam vidadhati purvam यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तम्ह देवम् आत्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर् वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय आविराविर्मयेधि रुद्रयत्ते दक्षिणं मुखं तेन मां पाहि नित्यम् ॐ शक्तिसमुद्रसमुत्थतरङ्गं दर्शितप्रेमविजृम्भितरङ्गं संशयराक्षसनाशमहास्त्रं यामि गुरुं शरणं भववैद्यम् अद्वयतत्त्वसमाहितचित्तं प्रोज्ज्वलभक्तिपटावृतवृत्तं कर्मकलेवरमद्भुतचेष्टं यामि गुरुं शरणं भववैद्यं नरदेवदेव जय जय नरदेव. My respectful salutations to the chairman of this session in the morning, Revered Swami Raghaveshanandaji Maharaj, and the Adhyaksha of the Ramakrishna Math, Bengaluru, Swami Nityasthanandaji, Swami Atmavidananji, who is a friend, and all our monks and the brahmachari, and the devotees of the Bengaluru Math. Our subject is meditation, Dhyana. It's remarkable that a seminar could be arranged on Dhyana. I think this is unique, perhaps for the first time in the Ramakrishna order, perhaps, that we have a seminar on Dhyana Ganga. You know, Ganga is the river which flows from the Himalayas, and the Ganga Sagar it reaches. Ganga is a sacred river, and the most important quality of Ganga is the purity. And the Hindus believe that if you take a dip in the Ganges, you will become pure. Of course, you should be careful. So Ramakrishna very humorously says, if you take a dip in the Ganges, all your sins will go, all the papa, all will go. But why is it after taking baths in the Ganges, this man is behaving so badly? That's because the moment he takes a dip in the Ganges, all the papas have to go. They sit on the tree. By the time he comes back, again they jump back upon him. That means samskaras. However much you may meditate, however much you do upasana, however much you may pray, the samskaras again come and trouble you. There are several systems of meditation, as our Nityasthanji beautifully said. The sleeping meditation also is an important meditation. If you feel sleepy, don't feel ashamed and don't feel unhappy. Sri Ramakrishna encouraged sleeping meditation. Do you know this? Adhar Sen was a great disciple and a devotee, a very learned person, highly placed official. A day-long work, he used to become so tired, come to Sri Ramakrishna and used to go to sleep. Sri Ramakrishna, don't disturb him now. He is coming and sleeping in the Lord's presence. It's not a small thing. You can sleep at home, but you are coming to the temple to sleep. The Lord will bless you because you are sleeping, but don't snore. Somebody said, I'm not getting sleep at all. I get sound sleep. So much of sound he is creating, snoring. So different types of meditation are practiced. But the problem is, meditation is a generic term in English which we use as a translation for dhyana. And some of the traditions, like Christian traditions, for example, they don't use the word meditation, they say contemplation. So many different words are used. Dhyana is a typical word which is borrowed from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. The Bhakti schools don't emphasize dhyana much. And of course, the Jnana schools of the Advaita tradition and the Shankara's tradition, they not only use the word dhyana, emphasize it, but Shankara says dhyana as equivalent to upasana is only a kind of deep imagination. I do dhyana and the Ishtadevata in my heart. Hridaya Kamala Madhye Rajitam Nirvikalpam. There is no Kamala there, and there is no Ramakrishna. You are imagining. You are imagining a Kamala in your heart, and you are imagining Ramakrishna is sitting there, and then he is, with a benign look, he is looking at you. All those who have taken initiation will know these are the instructions of the Gurus. Then how do you do it? Very strongly imaginative mind. Many people say it's only an imagination. Swami Turiyananda said, today's imagination will be tomorrow's realization. And Swami Yatishwaranji says, we have so many useless, morbid imaginations. Let us now have at least some good imagination. For morbid imagination, Yatishwaranji is a beautiful story. There's a person who was carrying a cage in his hand. Somebody asked him, why are you carrying a cage? You see, when I become drunk, I see so many snakes. I'm terribly afraid. I carry a mongoose in my cage. They are all imaginary snakes. This is also imaginary mongoose. The cage is empty. So this is an example of morbid imagination. Our whole world is an imagination. Our body is imagination. Our mind is an imagination. The world that exists, even science, physics says, the world is exactly not as you see it. You think the world is real, as far as it goes, but if you dig deeper and deeper and deeper, the reality has so many levels of existence. In the quantum theory, they say the world, the particle, what is its reality, real nature is not known. Sometimes it behaves like a particle, sometimes it behaves like a wave. So, a famous physicist, Eddington, he said, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, it behaves like a particle. On Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, it behaves like a wave. On Sundays, it sits on the fence. A scientist does not know what is a particle, what is matter. Physics is the science of matter, material science, but physics does not know what is matter. Because in trying to find out the nature of matter, knowingness of matter is it one characteristics of matter. How is matter defined? I know this table, and therefore this table exists. This is what normally we perceive. Why does the world exist? Because I see it, I perceive it, I touch it. If the 5 indriyas of perception, pancha jnanendriyas, are absent, I will never know the world. So the world is perceived through sense perception. Indriyaja pratyaksha, it is called. Indriya janita, born of the indriyas. Their perception, the world exists. Now there is a different kind of perception which is beyond the indriyas, which is yogaja pratyaksha. Through the subtle power of yoga, you realize this world. Vivekananda says, you have the 5 senses and you perceive this world. If you have another electrical sense or a magnetic sense, you may perceive the world totally differently. We perceive the world in a particular way, human beings. You do not know how the dogs and cats perceive. The dog may be barking outside, wondering about the foolishness of 500 people coming and listening to some seminar, which for the dog makes no sense. So the dog perception of the world may be completely different from our perception of the world. So the perception of the world depends on your particular view. So this is called by Shankara as your perception of the reality, dhyana, upasana, through your very strong imagination. He calls it as Purusha Tantra. Means it depends on the individual who perceives, who meditates. He can do it this way, or he can do it different way, or he may not do it at all. Kartum, akartum, anyatha kartum va. This is dhyana. And he considers dhyana as the antaranga sadhana of jnana, and karma as the bahiranga sadhana of karma. These are all various philosophical wranglings. Now, dhyana, in a sense, Ramakrishna explains very simply, if you're deeply absorbed in something, you completely forget your body and the mind and the surroundings. He gives a very simple example of a person who is catching fish. Because in Bengal, catching fish is a very common hobby. You know, Swami Brahmananda had this hobby of catching fish. A gentleman came to meet the president of the Ramakrishna Math, and somebody said, there is the president catching fish. He got terribly angry and said, what is this? A spiritual person, a spiritual son of Ramakrishna, a Brahmagyani, catching fish, I'll never come again. He went back home. That image of Brahmananda, he could never forget. It was haunting him 24 hours. Constantly that image was before him, till he was pulled back. He came back to the ashrama and saw Brahmananda in samadhi. Ramakrishna gives this example. Somebody is catching fish. He was so absorbed, the fish is just about to bite the hook. At that time, a huge procession is going on, a wedding procession when they were having songs and dance and so on. He was absolutely unaware. This example he gives when you're totally absorbed in something which completely takes away your mind, your senses, even you forget your own bodies, then is the state of dhyana. The paripakvata, the maturity of dhyana, which matures into samadhi. This is a worldly example which the great avatars and incarnations use. You may call it hinopama. Why the common examples? Because we can understand only common examples. If you give very high spiritual examples, we may not be able to understand. So all these avatars, be it Buddha, be it Christ, be it Krishna, be it Ramakrishna, they always give simple worldly examples so that we can understand. You are so deeply absorbed. Why is it that we find it very difficult to meditate? Just analyze this. We sit down to meditate, and so many other thoughts come and crowd. And Patanjali is a very harsh taskmaster. Chitta vritti nirodha. I always used to find it very difficult to understand this sutra. Chitta vritti has to be restrained. By what? By chitta. Who restrains the chitta vritti? Chitta itself has to restrain its own vritti. Why will chitta do it? Suppose I tell you, go and hang yourself. Why should I hang myself? Nobody destroys himself or herself. So chitta will never destroy itself. This is a great trick in sadhana. Mind will never kill itself. Mind will somehow try to survive because mind has a propensity called the ego which says I, and the ego is the greatest survivor in life. Again and again hang on to something and survive. That is why the ahankara, the ego, always survives through mamakara, mine. If you take the mine away, the aham will die. And aham will never die, because if the aham dies, the whole thing collapses. So somehow or other, the ahankara and mamakara so powerfully catch you and you can't escape. This was the teaching which Sri Krishna gave to Arjuna. Bhagavan Shankaracharya, the great Bhashyakara, raises this question at the very beginning of the Bhashya of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is depressed. All of us know Arjuna. He is terribly depressed. He says, I will not fight. Shoka Moha has completely conquered him. Shoka Moha Mahadadhi is immersed in the ocean of sorrow and delusion. Visrajya Sasharam Chapam Shoka Sambigna Manasaha. The great warrior, one of the greatest warriors of his times, crying, throwing away the bow and arrow, refusing to fight because deeply depressed. It's called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. We talk about yoga as meditation, But here is a peculiar book called the Bhagavad Gita, which adds the word yoga to everything. Have you heard of depression yoga? Depression yoga is the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Because from that Vishada, depression, Arjuna delves deep into himself and asks fundamental questions about life, its meaning, what he should do and what he should not do. Vishada gives rise to the realization. In all the great lives, including that of Sri Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna was a happy-go-lucky boy moving around, dancing, singing, bunking school. You know Ramakrishna's literary achievement? School dropout. He was asked to go to the Pathashala. On the way he started sitting and dancing. Refused to go to school. That happy-go-lucky boy was a cynosure of all eyes. Everybody used to like him for his sweetness, for his dance and song. Suddenly becomes very serious. Goes to the Prashana to meditate in Kamarpukur. How did it happen? Because he saw his father's death. He was so much attached to his father, Khudiram Chattopadhyay, and suddenly saw his father dies. Then he asks fundamental questions about life and death. What is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of death? Becomes extremely serious, begins to meditate, begins to go to the Smashana. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, those who have read the life of Mahaprabhu, he was not only a happy-go-lucky man, he was a bully. He used to tease everybody. He was such a remarkable intellect. He used to tease everybody. He used to beat everybody in arguments. Such a person suddenly turns because of some sorrow. One of the greatest books of the Ramakrishna order. What is that book? Sri Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, the Gospel of Ramakrishna. You know how it came about? Because Master Masha, became terribly upset and depressed. He in fact wanted to end his life for so many reasons, family reasons and so on. One of his friends, Sithu, he said, there's a beautiful garden house of Rani Rasmani. He did not tell him about Ramakrishna. Come, let us go and relax in the bank of the Ganges. He goes there, moves around. Then he said, there is a Paramahamsa here. Would you like to meet him? That's the turning point in M's life and the turning point in the lives of all of us. He goes there and sees the Paramahamsa. He was so charmed. And then he'll come back again. You know the story. I don't have to repeat that. Because of sorrow. You know the story of Valmiki? Valmiki, because of sorrow, the whole thing came as a shloka. Shoka, shlokatvam agataha. Shoka became shloka. There's a beautiful verse in Hindi by Sumitranandan Pant, which we studied in college. Viyogi hoga pehla kavi, ah se upaja hoga gaan, umad kar aankhon se chupchap, wahi hogi kavita anjan. The first man, the kavi, poet, must have been very lonely. And he feels so depressed and unhappy. And then from the tears of sorrow flowed the kavita, which is the poetry. So because Swami Vivekananda's life, you have read the Narendranath. Narendranath, what was the transformation? His father's death. His mother, brothers, going starving. And such a talented Narendranath could not get a small job in Calcutta. Can you beat that? And then he got a job in Vidyasagar's school to teach. And it is said, somebody, I'll not tell the name, complained to the administration saying, Naren Master podate parchenna. Naren Master is unable to teach well, so remove him. He was sacked. Naren, the great Jagat Guru and the teacher, Yugacharya, was sacked from his job of a teacher. Roaming about in Calcutta streets, crying, unable to bear the misery of his father and brothers. not for himself. The greatest quality of Vivekananda, nothing for himself. That's why Sri Ramakrishna coaxed him. Swami Vivekananda will never come down to the world to preach. Sri Ramakrishna showed him the misery of the world repeatedly. The moment he saw the misery of people, he says, 1,000 times we want to remove this misery. He will not study the Ashtavakra Samhita. It was Brahma Samaj influence. Sri Ramakrishna said, you read this. I will not read it. Blasphemous. To say I am God is all wrong. It is blasphemous. Sri Ramakrishna smiled and said, for my sake, at least you read. I am a fool. I can't understand Sanskrit. He understood very well. Then he read that. Still the idea of the Advaita went deep into him. And that Narendranath, who sang in the Brahma Samaj, Tumi Tribhuvananath, Ami Bhikhari Anath, Kemone Bolibo Toma, Esho Mama Hridaye. You are the Lord of the three worlds, and I am a beggar, helpless, useless beggar. How can I ask you, O Lord, to come and sit in my heart? That Narendranath transformed Vivekananda as the greatest Advaita in the modern times. And the world pulpit, he said, never forget the glory of the human soul. Buddhas and Christ are but the waves of the infinite ocean which I am. We thumped his chest. Mayanandamaham bodho ascharyam jiva vichaya udyanti gnanti khelanti pravishanti svabhavata Ashtavakra Samhita. That was the transformation. So from sorrow everything comes. In Arjuna's case also. Now the question raised by Shankaracharya in the Bhashya, the beginning, Arjuna is depressed. He is crying. Can you imagine Arjuna crying in the battlefield? He is the general of the army. The war is just about to begin. All the conchs have blown. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya Shashabdas Tumulo Bhavat Nabhascha Prithivim Chaiva Tumulo Vyanunadayan. The entire thing was full of sound and noise and fury. Terrible noise and terrible war is just about to break. What did Arjuna do, our great hero? Threw away the bows and arrows. Tam tatha kripaya vishtam ashrupurna kulekshanam vishidantam idam vakyam uvacha madhusudana kripaya vishtam ashrupurna kulekshanam. He is crying. Now, apart from chiding him as Klaibyam Masma, etc., Bhagavan began his teaching at the highest note of Ajatavada. Ramana Maharshi says this. And he says, Gatasu nagatasuscha nanushoschanti panditaha. The man of realization does not care who lives or who dies. Very harsh statement. Why did he give him the highest spiritual wisdom, which is Advaita? Bhagavan Bhashyakara, Shankaracharya raises this question and says, Shoka Moha has only one remedy, which is Atmajnana. Only Atmajnana can remove this. Aham esham mama ete iti bhranti pratyaya nimitta Shoka Moha. Shoka Moha comes from, these are mine and I am theirs. I and mine. Acharyan, Machalan, Bhratrin. First chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna was valorous. He was not that he was a coward when he came. He says, "O Krishna, take the chariot and keep it between these two armies. Senayor ubhayor muddhe ratham sthapayame achyuta yavadetan niriksheham yodhukaman avasthitan kairmaya saha yodhavyam asmin ranasamudyame." Oh Krishna, keep the chariot there. I want to see the faces of people who are desirous of dying at my hands. That is the courage. And then the Mayavi Sri Krishna, what does he do? Bhishma Drona Pramukhataha Sarvesham Samahikshatam. He could have kept it elsewhere. Just in front of Bhishma and Drona, his great teachers. Uvacha, Partha, Pashya etan, samametan kurun. Tatra pashyad, what did he say? Acharyan, Masulan, Pratren, Edanna, Antumichami, Knatopi Matsudana, started crying. The moment you feel I and mine, because of Bhranti Pratyaya, the only remedy for that is Atmajnana. This Shankara takes this position. And the Ramana Maharshi says, in the second chapter, Bhagavan had given him all that is to be given in the Bhagavad Gita. Because Arjuna could not grasp it, he went further chapters. Now why I am saying this is because from deep sorrow emerges so many things. Those of you who have passed through sorrows, God forbid you may not pass through sorrow, but it's a great teacher. You would not like to eat, you would not like to... Nothing interests you. So much absorbed in the one single thought of having lost a beloved person. Your dhyana comes automatically there, either through joy or through sorrow. I give the example to my students in the modern language. They ask, why is it that I am not able to concentrate? Very simple. I will ask you a counter question. Do you watch cricket? Yes. India-Pakistan World Cup final. India-Pakistan is Pandava-Kurukshetra war, Pandava-Kaurava war. We are all cousins. World Cup final. Last over 6 balls, 10 runs. Then it goes on, 3 balls, 5 runs more. I asked my student, at that time, if somebody tells you, concentrate on that screen of the television, should somebody tell you? You forget your sleep, you forget your food, you forget everything. Constantly concentrating on that. What's going to happen? How do you concentrate? The psychology is your mind is drawn to it. You are interested in it so deeply that you concentrate. This is the secret. This secret was given in the Bible, the Holy Bible, by Jesus Christ. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. If you deeply love it, this is meditation through bhakti. If you deeply love somebody, constantly you'll be thinking about. Now we have the Android phone, the telephone. The boys and girls constantly browsing, looking at the pictures, videos. Because your mind is drawn to something, you don't be told to concentrate. Why we are not able to concentrate? Because we are not drawn to the Ishtadevata. Be drawn to the Ishtadevata, how does it come? By constantly reading about the Ishtadevata, his life, his teachings, his Leela. So, concentration on something which is so dry, just because Chitta Vritti Nirodha has to take place. So some people, the Bhaktas and even the Jnanis said, don't take the Patanjali route. Patanjali is very difficult. You come to me, I'll teach you an easier method. The Gospel of Ramakrishna, he says that. Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, Chitta Vritti Nirodha, how long are you going to fight? And the Advaitins have some kind of allergy to yoga. In the Mandukya Karika, Gaudapada says, we are talking to them about Asparsha Yoga. Asparsha Yogo Vainama. And yogis are terribly afraid. I am telling them about a darshana, about a Asparsha Yoga, which gives you abhaya. Atmajnana gives you abhaya. And the definition of Brahman, which is least known, discovered by Swami Vivekananda, abhayam vai brahma, abhayam vai janaka prapto si Brihadaranyaka. Satyam jnanam anantam brahma, Taittiriya Upanishad. Vijnanam anandam brahma, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. But this particular phrase, abhayam vai brahma, except Swami Vivekananda, nobody discovered. And he made that one of the fundamental doctrines of the Vedanta. We are talking to the yogis about the abhaya darshana. Yogino bibhyati hyasmat abhaye bhaya darshana. They see bhaya in abhaya. What a strange thing. So, if you don't worry about concentrating the mind, but your mind is automatically drawn to the Ishtadevata, or drawn to the Atman within. Ramana Maharshi gives this technique. The Atman which is within, which is full of love and full of energy and full of Shakti, it is the embodiment and the repository of all the things that you need. It is there within. Look within. Antarmukhinata. Turn the whole mind within, turn the torch within, and you will discover everything. Why is it that we are not able to do this? The attraction of the world. So Vedanta says, first develop aversion to the world. Not that you have to hate the world. Finally you say nothing. You get nothing by looking to the world. So avritta chakshura amrtatvam icchan. That is why all our sadhana is based on two things. One is study of the Shastras, which give you vairagya for the world. Repeatedly it says samsara is nissara. It's a very peculiar word in Sanskrit. Sam is usually used as an upasarga for samyak, that which is very good. So samsara should have plenty of sara. But samsara is totally nissara. Samsarameva nissaram drishtva saradadrikshaya pravrajanti akritodvaha param vairagyam ashritaha. Ranganathan's famous quote. As children we used to imitate him, so I memorized this verse. It is quoted by Shankara in the Gita Bhashya. Samsara is nissara. What is there in this world? Analyze. Dukkha dosha anudarshanam. The Bhagavad Gita says, Dukkha dosha anudarshanam. Repeatedly go on seeing what is there in this world. Analyze every point. Then you say there's nothing in this world. Then you turn back to the self or the Atman. Sri Ramakrishna gives another simple example. There is a thief in one corner of the whole room. There is a curtain in between, and the other side, there's a huge amount of gold. Then Ramakrishna says, if this thief knows there is so much gold, will he be able to sleep? He'll be constantly worried about how I can snatch this gold. In our case also, so much of gold is there within. Apnate apni theko mon jevanamon karo ghore ja chabita boshe pabi khojo nijo antapure. Ramakrishna's favorite song. So stay put with yourself. Go within and then ask and search and dive deep. Then you will get everything. The Gospel, Ramakrishna's one message repeatedly said, dive deep, dubu dubu dub, rup sagare amaramon, etc. That means you should first know there is gold. Then only you'll be attracted. That's why Shastras tell you that the world is no sara and all power is within. All the Vedanta Shastras also are not dry discussions on Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya and so on. They tell you, you are that infinite self. Swami Tapasyanandaji, in a small book, Life and Legacy of Swami Vivekananda, says, Swami Vivekananda used this Mahavakyas, that I am Brahman, etc., not from the point of polemical discussions, Jahal Lakshana, Jahal Lakshana, to prove that I am that self, but as a powerful mantra to show that all power, all energy, all that you need is within you and you are that infinite self. But believe this. Ashtavakra Samhita, the greatest book in Advaita, Ashtavakra tells Janaka, Shraddhasva, Tata, Shraddhasva, believe in this, my child, believe in this. When the Guru says and the Shastras say, at least let us have some preliminary faith to discover that it is true. So if you believe all power is within, why do you go out? Shastras are necessary so that you get vairagya about the world, that nothing can be attained by outward activity. Only by turning inward you can realize everything. And what is the sadhana when you turn inward? All the Shastras say, not only the Bhakti Shastras, even the Vedanta Shastras, the avatara. Vedanta Shastras may not per se talk about the avatara, but they have a guru. Advaita does not take the Ishvara to be the highest. Jiva Jagat Ishvara will ultimately merge in the Supreme, and they are also part of Maya, the Advaitic position. But they replace it by the Guru. So it takes something. So go within and dive into yourself and realize yourself as a Supreme Self. That's the Advaitic position, Vedanta meditation. Vedarthananda will speak about it in the afternoon. Or take the Bhakti meditation. There's another problem is Chittavritti Nirodha. You have the Chittavritti is moving around, you have to catch hold of each Vritti and Nirodha by the time another Vritti comes. By the time you run behind Vrittis and catch them, you become so tired you go to sleep. Why sleep comes during meditation is because you are running behind the Chittavrittis. Thousands of hundreds and millions of them constantly arising, like in the Sri Sri Devi Mahatmyam, Chandi, the Raktabija, you know the story, every drop of blood which fell, another one Raktabija came. Till the entire Ranangana was full of millions of Raktabijas. Similarly, millions of Vrittis go on arising. By the time you catch hold of one, the other is. And then you get perplexed and confused, not knowing what to do, best is to go to sleep. So don't try this method. This is what the Bhakti schools say. I am not saying you should not try. You can try and sleep well. Bhakti schools say, don't try to fix the mind because the mind cannot be fixed. The famous question of Arjuna. In all the Bhakta Sammelana, all the retreats, there will be one question. My mind is not under control. What should I do? And we also saw those standard reply. Abhyasena Kaunteya Vairagyana Chate. Neither the speaker nor the questioner understands anything, we are happy. But now I have a different idea. I'm going to throw it to you. In one of the Bhakta Sammelanans, one person asked, Maharaj, I am getting bad thoughts during meditation, what I should do? Let them come and go. What is the problem? Bad thoughts, let them come. Acha, wait. What is today? Today is 21st of September 2024. Did you meditate every day? Yes. What was the bad thought which came to you on 21st September 2023? Can you tell me? That I don't remember. 2022? 21? 20? You don't remember, so why do you worry about it? This thought which has come and gone during meditation, we don't try to do anything to it. It will come and go. The Bhakti schools give another thing. Mayyeva mana adhatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya. In the Bhagavad Gita, fix your mind on me. We always talk about it. The mind which is restless has to be brought and focused on the Ishtadevatas. How do you focus? By the time you bring the mind, it's all gone. Now, the present technology says, no more still pictures. Everything is video. Even in mobile phones, once upon a time they used to click still pictures. Now everything is video. So the latest avatar of Bhagavan comes and says, Kathamrita, etc. Why does the Bhagavan come? Bhagavan creates certain themes and moves with you. You go and cry to Bhagavan and pray, oh, you see, my mind is restless, I cannot fix your mind on me. Then the Lord says, don't worry. You don't need to fix. But shall I travel with the mind? So many thoughts come to you and hijack you. Indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham mana. The mind is hijacked. Then what do I do? Tani sarvani sanyamya yukta asita matpara vashayasya indriyani tasya prajna pratisthita. I got this insight from Parama Pujya Swami Gautamananda ji when he was teaching the Ramanuja Bhashya. See, it's a peculiar idea. The mind has been hijacked by the turbulent senses, and the senses to be controlled by the mind. Where is the mind? Hijacked. Then what do? Ramanuja says the secret is yukta asita matparaha. You consider me the supreme and put your mind on me. I will give you a quantum of energy by which this vicious circle is broken. So Ramanuja says in his characteristic fashion, so don't try this. Jnana marga. Tasmat jnana jnana nishtha dushprapya, come to bhakti, yukta asita matparaha. So the Lord says, I will incarnate in Kali Yuga, I will come to Kamarpukur, I will bring with me my Shakti and Nararishi Narayana, my beloved son Rakhal, and a host of other disciples, and their parampara will go on. Even now the parampara is going on, I am coming. So what you should do? Will you allow me to travel with you? Yes, Lord, please come. When your mind is restless, you cannot control the thoughts. With every thought, I will move with you. That's the video meditation. Lord is moving with you. This is called Leela Chintanam. You take up the Leela of Bhagavan. If you do this meditation, hours will pass. You sit for meditation, first visit Kamarpukur. Mentally you go to Kamarpukur. Those of you gone, you know. Then Ramakrishnas, etc. And think of the Leela of Ramakrishna, how he used to play it with everybody. His childish pranks. Then come to Jairambati, meet mother and greet her and have some Muri Prasad also. Then from there you come to Bengaluru Math, roam around. If you more than 1 hour, 2 hours have passed, you don't know how happily you are meditating. This is a meditation, Leela Chintana. This insight I got from Swami Tapasyanandaji. See, I don't say anything of my own. My whole life is Madhukari Vidya. I collect from so many Swamis, senior Swamis. Passionately I used to go to them and then listen. So this insight I collected from Swami Tapasyanandaji, quoting from the Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavatam, there's a big discussion in the first chapter. Why does an avatara come? So many people said so many things. The Bhagavan himself said in the Gita, Paritranaya sadhvana vinashaya dushkratam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Then Kunti Devi, one of the greatest of jnanis in the Mahabharata, she is very less projected in the Mahabharata. She says, but I think slightly differently. Why does the Lord come? The Lord comes because He wants to create hundreds of thousands of themes for meditation. Those who are afflicted by this world, suffering in this world, by taking only one of these themes and meditating on the theme, the door to mukti will be open. So He creates so many themes. If you meditate on a fixed Lord, then you become dry after some time. So you want a playful Lord who is always joking and laughing and moving with you. I am not saying this. This is told by Gopala Irma, the Gopala's mother. Once Ramakrishna became very serious. Then she said, I don't like this kind of Gopala. My Gopala should be playing, joking and laughing and moving around. Come to your natural state. So you have a very beautiful smiling Lord, singing Lord and playful Lord who is moving with you. You move with Him, play with Him, because you are also a chip of the same Lord. Swami Vivekananda explained this kind of meditation in his lectures. He says, when God, what delusion, tatra komoha koshoga ekatva manupashyata shvetashvatara, same thing he echoes. What sorrow or delusion can there be when gods are playing with gods, gods are interacting with gods, gods are talking with gods. So you're also a small child God. He is the beautiful God. He is a father. He is a protector. Gatir bharta prabhu sakshi nivasa sharanam surad prabhava pralaya sthanam nidhanam bijam abjayam. The statement of Bhagavan himself. So he is moving with you all the time. Then he says, Bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karma bhi shravana smaranarhani karishyaniti kechana. Kunti Devi says, Bhavesmin klishyamananam, who are they? Afflicted by this world of samsara. All of us who have come here. Every one of us is afflicted by this world, constantly suffering and crying. And we want to escape that by coming here and doing that. You go back, again those things which are sitting on the tree will come back to you. Samsara will not leave you so easily. So take the Lord with you. When you go away from here, tell the Lord, seminar is over, come with me. Keep the Lord always with you. How? Think of the Leelas. Bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karma. Avidya kama karma, favorite phrase of Shankara. You are caught up in kamana, desire, because of which do karma. Why? Because of avidya. Shravana smarana arhani. Arha means which are worthy of being talked about, thought about. Shravana and smarana. You think about this. Talk about it. Constantly meditate upon this. It's so natural and happy meditation. Shrinvanti, gayanti, grinanti bhikshnashaha, nandanti, smaranti, tavehitam janaha. All your actions, they are talking about it, they are thinking about it, they are meditating about it, they are singing your glory, and constantly they are rejoicing. This is a small trick, small hint which Bhagavan has given, and it's a huge help for us in meditation. Bhagavan says in the Gita, unfortunately we don't have faith in these words of Bhagavan himself. 10th chapter, 10.9, 10.10. 10th chapter, 9 and 10. Madchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha maam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Madchitta madgata prana. They like me so much, they love me so much. How does the love for God increase? Talk about Him, read about Him. Every day read the Kathamrita and his Lila Prasanga and the talks of Sri Ramakrishna, Swamiji, etc. Be constantly immersed in the thought of your Lord so that you develop love for Him. Holy Mother Sharada Devi said, there is smell in the chandan, the sandalwood, but it will come out only when you constantly paste it, rub it. So rub your mind against this. The Upanishad also talks about it. Uttararuni and Adharani, two pieces of wood, constantly they are rubbed so that spark of fire comes out. The mind has to be constantly rubbed with this divine thoughts. So you constantly think about this. Madchitta, madgata prana, bodhayanta parasparam. How does it increase? Go on talking about the Lord to everybody. When somebody comes, catch hold of him, tell him about the Lord, till he runs away. If he doesn't like, he will run away. If he is of the same temperament, both of them will be very happy. This I have seen in old Swamis. When we joined, we were very old Swamis, disciples of Mother, disciples of Raja Maharaj were there. Whenever you go to them, they are old, they are lying down, constantly some reading will be going on. Either the Kathamrita or some life of Ramakrishna, etc. They must have read it 100 times. Then I asked me, you see, constantly the mind has to be engaged. And secondly, those who come to disturb them will run away. Oh, reading is going on, they will go. So your mind will be saturated with divine thoughts. And don't indulge in worldly talk. So Ramakrishna repeatedly said, when devotees come together, why should they talk about worldly things? Swami Ramakrishnananda was the great apostle who came to the south, established Chennai and this ashram also. One devotee came to the mutt and he was reading the newspaper. He came down heavily upon him. You have come to the mutt for peace of mind, for meditating on the Lord. Here reading the politics. Throw this. Swami Kailashanandaji, our Pujani Ragheshanji knows very well. He was so strict about many things. There is some Swami Bhavaharananda, who was a Sevak of Madhavanandaji. He passed away. He was a brahmachari at that time. Swahananda was a brahmachari, Buddhananda was a brahmachari, and Bhavaharananda also. Bhavaharananda was in charge of electrical maintenance. One bulb he had to fix. So he pulled one chair. There is a round table at Chennai Mutt. I don't know where it is now. Newspapers used to be kept there. When he pulled the chair and got up, accidentally his eyes fell upon that paper, that's all. Then he saw a big garjana. The bulb simply fell down and broke. Why did you look at the paper? You are a brahmachari in the mutt, never look at the paper. So the idea is, avoid all worldly thoughts and worldly talks. Bodhayanta parasparam, they talk about me constantly. Then, kathayantascha mam nityam, they constantly talk about me. How? Tushyanticha, ramanticha, they are so happy. They come together like all of you have come. Talk about the Lord, think of the Lord, meditate upon Him, rejoice in His glory, and then at the end of this, you have sumptuous prasad. That's also part of the convention, part of the Lord's glory. If no prasad is given, nobody will come here. You know, the Vaishnava Sampradaya, prasad and chakra pongal, you know chakra pongal? With lot of ghee. So Andal, the famous poetess, she says, Mooda neivayidu murungai valiyavara kooda irundu kumiloro rimbavai. That means put lot of ghee there, and when you eat the chakra pongal, it will simply ooze like this. Murangai valiyavara kooda irundu, come together, kumilolo. Kumila means in a group you come and rejoice. Christ said in the Bible, rejoice and be exceeding glad. When the Lord has come, Avatara has come, why you do long faces and try to meditate and completely control? And open your eyes and see the Lord is present. When I was young, during Arati, I used to close, when Swami chided me. Arati is the time when the Lord has come in His divine glory in His darbar. He is waiting for devotees. Don't close your eyes. See the glory of the Lord. Machitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti ramanti. They are so happy. This much can you do? Is it so difficult? If you do this much, finished. The Lord says the rest is my job. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. 10.10. 10th chapter, 10th verse. Tesham, such people, satatayuktanam, always connected to the Lord. The word yukta, satatayukta, nityayukta occurs in the Gita so many times. I interpret it to our students because they want through interpretation through IT and the computer, internet. Yukta means 24/7 internet connectivity. You have Wi-Fi and the password is the mantra which you have. You have a mantra from the Guru, use that password, you will get connected 24/7 by Wi-Fi. And what is the broadband? Width? Infinite. So anytime you can download, anytime you can upload from the Hiranyagarbha, which is the Lord Himself. Tesham satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam. Swami Bhajananandaji, who is now at Beluru Math, used to tell us, he is one of the persons from whom a lot of Madhukari I did. He said, this is the secret of the whole of Gita, the Buddhi Yoga. Bhagavan Himself promises you, I give you Bhakti Yoga. I give you Buddhi Yoga. Through that you will come to me. At the end of this seminar, Dhyana Ganga, all of you will collect a small packet from the reception counter. Open it, see there is a small key there, written there, Buddhi Yoga. That key will open the mansion of infinite, and you open it, rejoice and go. This is the meditation according to the Bhakti school, where they say, always think of the Leela of God. Leela of God, Leela of Kali and Durga, etc., Shiva, etc., we don't know them. But here is an avatar, he is sitting there, look at his picture, always dancing and rejoicing. So participate in his dance, participate in his songs, have his company all the time by meditating upon his Leela. This is the sweetest way in which you can connect to the Lord. Several types of meditation are spoken about, but Kunti Devi's statement that you can connect to the Lord by constantly gayanti, shrunvanti, smaranti, and nandanti is full of joy. This is a new type of meditation which becomes renewed every time whenever an avatara comes. This was spoken about in terms of Sri Krishna. Now we are talking about Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Ram, Jai Krishna, Idaning Ramakrishna. We believe he who was Rama and Krishna has come here, Ramakrishna, but not in a Vedantic sense. Because in Vedantic sense, everybody is avatara. So these are several varieties of meditation in our order. You might hear about Advaita, hear about Vedanta, everything. Stick to the avatar. I end with one small anecdote which I recently heard. One brahmachari went to Swami Vireshwarananda of revered memory and asked him, Maharaj, in the training center we are taught the Brahma Sutra Bhashya and then Vedanta Sara, the Upanishad Bhashya, so many texts. Of what use is it to our lives? I will be going and working in the Goshala, I will be working in the bookstall, I will be working in the hostel, I will be looking after the accounts. What is the use of all this to me? Then it seems he said, you see, all these are required only to generate vairagya in you. So that you will have no attraction for the world. Again and again and again, your mind should realize, samsarameva nisaram. Then you turn inward, and the sadhana is only based on the avatara. The latest avatara is the only person on whom you should concentrate. Christians, all their sadhana hover around Christ. For bhaktas of Krishna, on Krishna. Everywhere, the avatara is the person around whom all your energies, all your mind, your thoughts, mayeva mana adarsva, mayi buddhim niveshaya, nivasishyasya mayeva, ata urdhum nasamashaya, manmana bhava, madbhakto, madhyaji, mam namaskaru. Hundreds of thousands of times Bhagavan says, but we have some doubt. Bhagavan, is it, will he give me? I don't know. Have faith. That's why he says, idam te na tapaskaya, na idam maya susrusheve vachyam, nachamam yo abhyasuyate. Don't tell it to people who have no shraddha. We have some kind of shraddha, otherwise you would not be here. So stick to this. Sadhana was only on the basis of avatara. Many people hearing the YouTube lectures everywhere, they come and ask us, Maharaj, it's so fascinating. I want to do Advaita sadhana. What kind of this I want to do? Aham Brahmasmi, and I will realize the infinite. See, these are only for talk. This is only for understanding the scriptures, to know the world is not to be sought after. That's all. Sadhana has to be only based on the avatara. Swami Vivekananda, one of the greatest of Advaitins of modern times, what is the sadhana he gave to his own disciples? He gave mantra. He himself said. The Shishya, the disciple, asks him, do you give mantra? Yes. How many? Maybe 100, several thousands, he said. Swamiji says. Do you allow them to chant the Omkara? Yes. Swamiji gave the mantra of the Ishtadevata, of the Avatara, to close disciples. That is the only way you could good sadhana. Through the avatara, you penetrate in the Shastras. Swami Vivekananda repeatedly said, the Shastras have to be studied and interpreted in the light of Ramakrishna's life and teachings. Ramakrishna can be understood only in the light of the Shastras. So these two should go parallel. As far as sadhana is concerned, it is the avatara and avatara alone whose Divya mantra all of us have received in the Guru Parampara. The same sampradaya is going on. And however much a person may be a scholar, a person who has grasped with the Shastras, if he does not have a sampradaya, he is a murkha. That is, Shankara declares, 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, asampradaya vid sarva shastra vidapi murkhavadeva apikshaniya. We are blessed to come in this sampradaya. Let us have faith. You talk about in everything, listen to everything, but stick to the avatara. All of us will be blessed. And Sri Ramakrishna himself promised, you do not have to do anything. To Master Moshe he says repeatedly, just think of me. Means the avatara. His rupa, his nama. Hold on to that. Just think of me, and whatever needs to be done, I'll get you done. And whoever thinks of me will inherit my wealth, even as children inherit the father's wealth. Master Moshe adds, you know what is his wealth? Dhyana, Bhakti, Viveka, Vairagya, Shanti, Sukha, Prema, Samadhi. All of them will just here in the palm of your hand if you just think of the Avatara, love him. And vanity of vanities, all is vanity except to love God and him only to serve. Thomas A. Kempis begins with this. So love him intensely and follow his teachings and read about him, think about him, talk about him constantly. You are saturated with, intoxicated with Ramakrishna love. It is not easy. You may have all kinds of things. Syat kadapi japayaga yoga bhoga saulabham durlabhantu Ramakrishna raga bhakti bhavanam. It's very easy to have japa, yaga, and then jnana, and then various scriptures, but have intense one-pointed love for the Avatara Sri Ramakrishna is so difficult to get. All of us have got some love, otherwise you would not be here. Increase it constantly, have Leela Chantana, talk about him, think about him, discuss him always, and the Bhagavan will give you the key, Buddhi Yoga. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. ಧ್ಯಾನ ಗಂಗಾ ಮೊದಲನೆಯ ದಿನದ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನಾ ಅಧಿವೇಶನದ ಸಮಾಪ್ತಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಇಂದಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮ ಪ್ರವಚನಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. ಪರಮಪೂಜ್ಯ ಶ್ರೀಮತ್ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ರಾಘವೇಶಾನಂದಜಿ ಮಹಾರಾಜ್ ಅವರು ತಮ್ಮ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನಾ ಭಾಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆ, ಫಲ, ಧರ್ಮ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಗಳ ಸಾಮ್ಯತೆ, ವಿಜ್ಞಾನದ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಪ್ರಯೋಜನಗಳು, ಸನಾತನ ಧರ್ಮ ಮತ್ತು ಬೌದ್ಧ ಧರ್ಮಗಳ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಧ್ಯಾನದ ಗುರಿ, ಈ ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅತಿ ಸೊಗಸಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಚಿತ್ರಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪರಮಪೂಜ್ಯ ಶ್ರೀಮತ್ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ರಾಘವೇಶಾನಂದಜಿ ಮಹಾರಾಜ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಠ ಹಾಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಕ್ತರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಭಕ್ತಿಪೂರ್ವಕ ವಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಸಮರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. Revered Swami Atma Priyanandaji Maharaj, in his keynote address, touched on various topics including effect of samskaras in meditation, power of imagination, perception of reality, and a beautiful erudition of the word Dhyana, quoting scriptures, incidents, lives of various saints, and interesting anecdotes. On behalf of Ramakrishna Math, Bengaluru, and all the devotees assembled here, I convey my respectful and reverential thanks to Revered Maharaj for having delivered a wonderful keynote address, which has set a beautiful and apt base for the next 2-day workshop. Thank you, Maharaj. We will now break for lunch. ಈಗ ಭೋಜನ ವಿರಾಮ. ಭೋಜನ ಪ್ರಸಾದವನ್ನು ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಸಭಾಂಗಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಯೋಜಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಈ ಧ್ಯಾನಗಂಗಾ ಪಾಸನ್ನು ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ತೋರಿಸಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಸಾದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. ಮುಂದಿನ ಅಧಿವೇಶನ, ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನದ ಅಧಿವೇಶನ 2 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಆರಂಭ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು 1:50 ಒಳಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಸಾದವನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸೀನರಾಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.